How about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Crazy all day, baby.
You're listening to the RedOUT podcast.
Hello and welcome into the RedOUT podcast. I am Devin, and in a couple minutes you're going to listen to our live podcast we did. It was last night on Wednesday. We started around 7:30. For those of you who listen the entire show, we thank you. Appreciate your support. Continue listening. And like LRD10 or Lord 10, whatever you prefer to go by, he had questions throughout the episode. He got to ask those live on air. So if you would like, you can continue doing that. You can keep asking us questions. But we're going to jump into the podcast here. This is going to be right after we got all the calls squared away. So we got Jared, Ross, and Jake on the show. It was fairly chaotic, and we appreciate you all being patient with us. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe for automatic downloads. And as always, go Tops. Jared would like to call. Hey, Jared, how's it going, buddy?
There we go.
There we go.
I think you have to call in order to get any time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So winners and losers this week.
Is us trying to do this for the first time?
Yes. Yeah. This is.
But winners because we're live, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I love this. This is actually really nice. I'm really enjoying this so far. So good. One more time for Ross. Let's see. Okay. So, winners and losers. Jared, what do you have, buddy?
Oh, man. Winners because the Dolphins lost. They had an atrocious game against the Redskins, which, of course, is basically seeing who is trying to tank harder, the Redskins or the Dolphins. And, of course, the Dolphins are tanking harder. So, they actually... and also a loser is Coach Brian Flores. It was kind of sad. Just a week or two ago, he was talking about how Josh Rosen was going to be their main starter for the year. And halfway through that game, he pulls Rosen and just said, like, today that he's going to start Fitzpatrick for the next game. So, I mean, way to kind of go back on what you said, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? That's just crazy.
Oh, what was that?
I've got this whole soundboard over here. That's why I was so excited about this.
You have too much power in your hands.
I know, right? I can just say whatever, and people just agree. So it's fine. This is just great.
Yeah.
So I honestly was worried about your Dolphins. I was like, man, are they going to lose? Are they going to win?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is if they win.
You
have one job with tanking, and it's lose. I mean,
yes.
All they have to do is just sign me as their quarterback, and I'll accomplish that really easily.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Who are your winners or losers?
I really don't have any winners and losers. Western winning, obviously. That was the big, I guess, kind of shock coming in from the weekend, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. More winners coming from around the hill. Volleyball is just killing it like usual.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
They beat FIU and FAU 3-0 against FIU and 3-1 against FAU. Soccer beat FIU 3-1. And golf actually placed 10th. Linus Lou. Okay, I'm going to see. Trying to troubleshoot on the go to see how this is working. So, Jared, while I'm busy talking to Ross, trying to get him straightened out, would you mind talking about Hilltopper Hysteria real quick?
Of course. So, I mean, tomorrow, considering we're going live, I guess we can say tomorrow, because, we'll have Hilltopper Hysteria, Diddle Arena, everything, get the first look at the Lady Tops and the guys, which will be very good, very good. I expect the Lady Tops to be a lot better this year with Greg Collins. This is his second year. I think that's going to be really good. He's going to have some better defensive players, hopefully, and they should get back on track. With the guys, of course, I mean, we've done a lot of analysis. I got an article tomorrow talking about just 5 things to look for, so we'll see how that goes. And they'll have a full scrimmage this year, too, which will be good. So it'll be interesting to see how they all look.
Hello, Ross. I don't know if you'll come through on the podcast, but we'll see how this goes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Jared can hear you, too. Okay,
yeah.
That works.
Yeah, we found out the go-between.
That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've talked winners and losers, so we'll go back to you real quick if you want, and then Jared can continue his Hilltopper hysteria.
Winners, the Washington Nationals. Losers, the
Yeah.
Cardinals. Losers, LeBron James.
Yeah. All of those are good.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the losers, the NBA, all in general after that whole China thing. So it's whatever.
Not to get too deep, but yeah, I mean, let's state the obvious there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys.
LeBron had a week to think of what he was going to say, and he should have just stuck with no comment.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Completely agree. Ross, I kind of stole your thunder talking about volleyball, soccer, and golf finishing in 10th place this week. So exciting news there.
Volleyball is ranked. I don't know if you said that, number 24 in the country.
Yeah.
So.
Jared did take care of me on that end. He did help us out there. And we were playing with some of the sound effects while we were trying to get you all going. So you can hear our audience inside the studio here. They can do a lot of things that I prompt them to do. And then, right when I just start talking about heartfelt stuff, we can have some music.
Wow.
Just some soft stuff.
The more you know.
First off, I know this is kind of haphazard and crazy right now, but this is so much fun on my end. I am enjoying this. Okay, so Jared, you were talking about Hilltopper Hysteria. Go ahead,
Yes. All right. So, I mean, one of the biggest things that's going to be different this year than last year is just the fact that the guys will be doing a full scrimmage instead of just like a half. So we'll get like an extended look of how the guys are going to look, possibly the different rotations that Coach Stansberry is going to use. And just seeing how these guys hold up too. I mean, it's October, so I mean they might be a little winded, a little rusty, but I mean they've obviously been practicing for a couple months now, so it'll be really good to see how it goes. I wouldn't really expect like super cutthroat or anything like that. There'll be a lot of fun stuff thrown in with it, but it'll be a lot of fun to go to.
I'm sure it will be. Y'all know I'm not a big basketball guy, so it's just whatever. But I think it is exciting to see how the team's coming and going to look, and go on and do all that fun stuff.
I think the fact that it's a full scrimmage, you're going to get more than just a glorified layup line with the dunk contest. And I think we all want to see how much better shape Bassie's in, how much better his knee is. Have people like Savage and Josh Anderson improve their shot. Have people, how did the newcomers look? I think, Jared's piece coming out tomorrow is going to be really good with that kind of stuff. So, I think it's exciting. Basketball's here. I think football's kind of stolen some of basketball's thunder, which to me is a good thing. Last year, already it being over with before November, I think now we're going to get, that hectic, early November to mid-December is just going to be full of double content. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a little stressful, and it's after last year's debacle of a season on every sport on the hill. We've kind of bounced back like with a vengeance on volleyball, soccer, football, and now it's the Conference USA Championship or bust in basketball. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that was another thing. It always seems to me that when the hey, thanks for joining us, LRD10. So anyway, it's always great to have a good football season because it kind of gives basketball a reprieve, and people aren't just hey Sammy, people aren't just going crazy and doing all kind of weird stuff. Sorry, I'm just getting all this feed coming through all of a sudden. With people calling in and everything. So, but yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to see how Charles Bassey's going to do. Thank you. I think he's going to be great. Charles Bassey 2.0. Like you said, Ross, I just want to see the development with Savage and some of those guys. And, kind of see the strength of everybody after, all those transfers in the spring. And like you said, the fresh guys, just kind of echoing your sentiment there completely. But what I want to talk about is my grumble puppy here, is WKU versus Army, which was an exciting game for defensive people. But obviously, go on, quit grumbling, go on. So it was a lot of fun watching the game. It was a defensive game, but you just, Western just dominated the run-heavy option Army, only allowing 208 yards, 71 passing for Army, 137 rushing. Western had 140 passing yards and 225 rushing. I mean, granted, you don't have the rushing that you would like. Let me see. Okay. All right, Jake says he's almost ready, so we'll see how this goes. Western had 2 penalties for 28 yards, where Army had 30 yards. They had the 2 penalties for 30 yards. And, of course, Western won the time of possession with 38 minutes.
That's massive against Army.
That was huge.
They live and die by time of possession and eating clock. And one thing I really noticed is like how many 3-and-outs the defense forced. Whether it was on a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 6, like we did not let them sustain drives most of the game, and that was huge. And especially with our offense still struggling to finish drives, you hope that we'll get into this in a second, we can break through, but God, the defense is good. I mean, they assignment football like you talked about last week, Devin, and I can think of maybe like 2 long runs they broke the whole game, and they were maybe 15 yards. It wasn't even anything crazy. So
yeah, I mean it was okay. I don't know what's going on with Jake. Let's see if I can call him. I think I just hung up on Ross. Yes, this is great. I love this. Hey, Jake, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much.
Hey,
you should be able to call. That's what we got Jared
There's a
doing
little
right.
microphone on the app, and you click on it and hit call in.
Did you get that?
What about a microphone on the app?
Yeah, Jake's an old man for our listeners who are here with us on live.
I swear I
Welcome,
forget I'm on the phone.
MPMJG. Thanks, man. Yeah, I just hung up on Ross, so we'll try and get him back just here in a second.
It's a learning progress, guys. Okay, so what I've got is record audio and start live cast.
Yeah, so jump into your live cast there, I guess. Is that right, Jared?
Well, you go to where it says RedOUT Podcast and click on the show that says live, and then just hit call in.
I mean, I'm not that dumb. It's just I didn't have the options that Jared's described.
Okay. Hello, Billy
Yeah,
B. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining in on the live.
I got it.
Have you figured it out?
Yes.
Later, Rip. It says you haven't joined yet.
Oh, I got Jake over here in the listeners.
Oh, well, I don't see him.
Can you not hear me? Because I'm getting a reverb on my end of the voice.
Yeah, you're probably listening in. We'll figure out the calling thing. So for those of y'all who are listening right now, sorry, this is just hectic and crazy. Obviously, this is our first live podcast.
Seeing how it goes.
Yeah, we're just trying to see. Yes, Ross, I'll be ready for you in just a minute. So we're talking WKU versus Army. Western's defense played phenomenally. It was great. Let me get up another computer here because this is awesome. Yeah, Western's defense did exactly what we were talking about last week. Oh, Jake's calling. Let's see. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, that sounds a lot
better.
Yeah, this is coming together nicely. It just took 20 minutes and 15 seconds. So, thank you all. Yes, how's it going, Ross?
We're back.
Yes, so we've it just took us 20 minutes. We're finally functioning normally. So thank you all that are still listening.
Listen, real radio shows do this all the time. I listen to what?
Okay, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, real radio shows do this all the time. You guys ever listen to, like, the Valvano show on ESPN Louisville, and they routinely eat on air and get disconnected and curse at each other and drop calls? It's all part of the show.
Well, see, Jake, you're just missing the point that this is a Westerns show. Thank you.
What is that?
Oh, God.
Oh,
He
yes.
has the soundboard.
This is, the soundboard is my big reason for loving this right now. I mean, it's Western. So, but anyway.
I'm here to tell you, like, it sounds good.
Jake, you sound like a totally different person through this than you do the Facebook thing. I will say that.
Yeah, no, this absolutely. The audio quality on this is 10 times trying to hit the mic like through speakers.
Yeah. And, I mean, when we start talking about the way the defense played, we can start playing, sappy love music, because...
Or,
dude, for sure.
or we could not do that. There we go.
Or I can
That's
play
a little
some rock
better.
music, low in the background. Yep, and I just lost Jugs, or whatever her name was, JGG. So, there we go. That's how I lose fans, just like that.
There you go.
But I think the big thing we're talking about with Army is that Western just basically, even though the offense didn't do as well as they should, they still did what they had to do. They were 10 for 17 on third downs, where Army was 3 for 11. And we were 2 of 3 on fourth downs, even though Army was 2 for 2. And of course, that goes into the whole analytics that Army does, going into all their stuff, if you get my drift. Basically,
we piled up 365 yards. We just didn't finish drives.
Yes.
That's a step forward. It was probably our second or third best yardage total on the season. You just got to punch it in the end zone. You got to make field goals. That should have probably been a 24-point score on the board instead of 17, which isn't a huge deal when you only allow 8. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, what was that, Matt's grades yesterday on Medium, which if you haven't listened to that, you need to listen to that. It's a great piece by Matt. It's on the Towel Rack site. You can find it on Medium, Twitter, yada, 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 all the social media. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, basically, I don't want to say they're good managers, but until they start capitalizing, they're kind of managing the game. They got the scores they needed to get, and they did what they had to do. So I can't really complain with the way Western's sorry, Lord 10, LRD 10 keeps entering the draft, and it keeps screwing me up. Entering the studio, so
entering the draft, I like that.
My ADD kicks in, and it's distracting. But hey, thanks for listening and staying on for this complete craziness, buddy. We really appreciate it. So what did y'all think of the game? Jared, what do you think, bud?
Yeah, I was there. Really awesome atmosphere. Just having the whole Military Appreciation Day. I think that was a really nice touch to having an armed forces school come in and play. But yeah, I mean, as far as the product on the field, I just thought it was absolutely stellar, seeing the way that the defense stepped up, had a shutout for the entire game except towards the last 2 minutes. That deserves claps. And but I mean, the offense, even though they, like you said, Ross, they weren't really finishing drives when they could have, the drives that they had, especially in the fourth quarter, were so long and ate up so much clock that it was honestly kind of worth it, even if they may not have gotten something out of a drive, as long as they take maybe 6 to 8, maybe even more minutes than that off the clock, especially when they already have a lead, is a good thing. But it was definitely really, really solid. If we get our offense to step up a little bit instead of kind of carrying off of the defense, then I think that this is going to be a really good team.
I think so too. Jake, what do you think, bud?
So this is the first time you guys are going to hear me be outright positive about the season.
Are you sick?
I did give blood today at work, and so I'm still a little out of it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I did. Funny story, I did almost pass out on the table. I've never given blood before. And I was like, oh, that whole passing out thing, that's just because people are scared of needles and blood. And I'm not, right? So it doesn't bother me at all. And then, nope, it's the whole, your blood pressure can drop precipitously because they're siphoning, the life juice out of you. So that was fun. But anyways, no, I'm super pumped about the game. I think to, repeat for the 9 millionth time that old line, they out-armied Army, they were able to control the line of scrimmage. They were able to control the line of scrimmage. They were able to, except for one play over the top, stop those big chunk plays that Army. That's how they, honest to God, that's how they really move down the field, because they do that little 2 yard, 3 yard at a time, and like you said, lull you to sleep, and then bust one over the top for 35 yards. We only had one of those. Their quarterback, who was supposed to be this excellent rusher and really good out of the option, just did not have a lot. He was not a good scrambler. He was, when plays broke down, the dude just got eat.
That's not their game, though. I mean,
Not the
in
option is not. I just said it, but there it's literally
No.
it's run.
You said he wasn't a good scrambler, and I mean, like that last drive or two in the fourth. I mean, I guess what you're trying to say is he wasn't a very good. Yeah,
He did not perform. He did not perform well under pressure when he needed to. So he wasn't able to play their game plan, which is keep and run on design quarterback runs, and then when he had to make other decisions and the line broke down and his play broke down, he couldn't escape, which he was supposed to be fairly decent at. So shout out to everything about Western's defense. I mean, just absolute domination. And the offense did what they had to. Now, if we could just get freshman kicker, who is awesome, Corey Munson, to not just miss left. Dude, if you could just inch it back a couple of yards to the right, holy moly, the dude be able to boot it from freaking midfield and make him.
Yeah,
But did you hear what Helton called Munson? He called him wild man from like.
Yeah, I love that. I love that comparison.
That's great. But
They need to play that before games, like when he goes out to kick, or not before, like during games, like the timeout, like the timeout music needs to be the wild thing, like when he's going to kick. Like, how awesome would that be? Somebody tweeted them. Let's go. Let's make that happen.
How awesome would it be if he was like the 70s or 80s kicker that comes out with a cigarette in his mouth and he flicks it as he goes. I'm like, yes,
like the Raiders kicker from back in the day.
Yes, or even like the replacements. Didn't the kicker on the
He's wiry.
Yes. But the thing is with Army, they are the disciplined team that does the same thing over and over, and they just chink away and wait for that one little just dive in there to get it. And it usually they'll wear teams out until they make that mistake, and then they get that big yardage. I think that kid is talented. The quarterback,
for sure.
I just don't think like that final drive or two where Army was throwing. That's not what he does.
No, that's so true. Yeah, he was out of sorts completely.
Yes, he was just like we throw the ball. I didn't even know we could throw the ball.
That's the
they
joke.
only
My
really
buddy.
earned us once.
Yeah.
This is that one time.
Yeah, and that's what they do. That's Army's whole strategy is just basically throw the option down your throat until you're like, well, we're going to run the option again, and then they throw it right over your head, and they did that. One of those I think was broken up. Wasn't that Devin Key? I believe. I don't remember. I don't remember if that's correct or not, but I'm pretty sure it was Devin Key. And then
if
the
you're
other
talking about a pass breakup, typically it is.
Yeah, and then the other one was successful. So I mean, Army did what they were supposed to do. I do think some people were saying that they're down. They're not as good as they should be. But I do want to say, eat it to the inside and out writer. I just thought that was very, I don't know the word to use, but contentious, I guess, when he said that Army was going to beat us 37-17. I was like, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, that was.
I'll have to the Charlotte writer this week.
Oh,
but
great.
I'll give him props for always supporting his team. But yeah.
So we need to let Matt talk to the opposing writers, like.
Oh God, that'd be good.
Yeah, because Matt will be like, "We're going to beat them 52-0." I know that's how it goes. Matt, love you, buddy, but he's super optimistic with everything's concerned. So
I pulled a book with Army. I pulled the pessimism book out of Jake's playbook. But if Agent 49 actually gave us a Q&A, which I don't think he did this week, I'd be picking Western. So.
Yeah. LRD10 says he'd like to see us throw more to tight ends. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. But, yeah, I completely agree. Josh Simon.
One catch.
He had the one catch. I think they did try and target him a couple times. I can't remember if Fortenberry made a catch because I don't think he did. Let me see if let me check the box score real quick. But
he hasn't been as active in the passing game as we thought coming into the season.
Yeah,
I mean he's had some big catches, but as far as like the volume production that we thought going into this, he just hasn't really. And it's not even like he's not catching passes; just they're just not targeting him heavily.
And I think quarterbacks kind of play favorites, so to speak, because like Jacor Pearson and Sloan, I don't think were targeted as much as some of the others when Duncan was healthy. But so far, I mean, like Josh Simon had 0 yards and 1 catch. So, I mean, I'd love to see this kid catch the ball a lot more. He is a super athlete as far as everything's concerned.
And let's not forget, he's a freshman.
Yeah, that's exciting. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, I was going to say that Samuel looked really impressive. That with a lot of the different things they were using. No, it's Sloan. Sloan. I always get them confused. It was.
I was like, I didn't see Samuel, but okay.
Yeah, it was Sloan. Might be. I get people confused. That's why I said Travis Hilton, but it is what it is. But
no,
I really love the way that they used Sloan. They had him on some out routes or whatever, just kind of like a wheel route-ish kind of thing, coming out and getting like a screen pass and then running for a while and a couple of end rounds. I thought he did really solid with that. If they start using him more, I think that's a good thing. He's pretty quick.
I do too. So just a little game here we're going to play real quick. If Western was in the same boat as Kentucky, who is our quarterback?
What if everybody was hurt?
Like the Wildcat, running around.
Yes. So yes, that's kind of what.
Oh, okay.
And of course they're using Lynn Bowden right now as that style, and I guess it's working for some.
I mean, it worked against Arkansas.
I didn't know this was the 2007 Miami Dolphins. Wow.
Yeah, it's always the 2007 Dolphins.
Georgia this week.
Oh, it's not going to work against Georgia. I think if you're in Big Blue Nation, you understand that this is not going to work against them. So
yeah, I don't think
real
anything's going to work. Yeah,
I think like what we're talking though. I think honestly, in my opinion, I'm betting on Garland LaFrance or Jacques Sloan. I'm thinking one of those two are going to be quick enough. They may not have the weight as far as that's concerned.
I like LaFrance. I think that's a good pick.
I agree with that.
I'm iffy on Gage Walker. I would like to say Gage Walker, but I don't know if he can throw.
Yeah, you want to leave him at running back to support whoever's doing that.
I agree. I like that. That's yeah. So Ross, what did you think about the game? I think I've asked everybody but you. So
no, it's fine. I've been interjecting anyway.
That's usual.
Yeah. Sure. I think that is our defense is just amazing. I think I'll be the first one to say this on the podcast. We need to enjoy Clayton White while we can because he's gone after this season. If we keep a top 50 defense, I think he's on the Broyles midseason watch list, which is the top assistant in the country. I think that's just somebody we're going to have to be happy that we kept the staff continuity with him, and he's here. So defense, hats off. Didn't force turnovers, but played super disciplined. Like I said, offense. What are you playing in the background?
I was wondering how long it would take him to notice the sad music.
It's not sad music. It's not sad. It's called "Fall in Love." It's some kind of uncopyrighted music. I can't get our intro in here for whatever reason because Podbean sucks. So I just kind of play just this random stuff as Ross is talking about how much he loves the defense.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, you look at somebody even like D'Angelo Malone. He still got 7 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, but he didn't pass the ball. Kyle Bailey was great. The other linebackers, Clay Davis kind of stood up, so that's good. And then, our D-line depth after losing Jeremy Darvin looking terrible, we still had some great D linemen. So that shows we had more depth than I even thought we'd have. So defense was great. Offense struggled to finish drives. Kind of disappointed in Pearson's drop at the beginning of the game. That's nitpicking, but we got to start.
Well, there were 2 right there back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said that on our little group chat during the game. It's like, missing plays like that, we've been missing 3 or 4 every game, is going to come back and bite us in the butt against the second half of our schedule. If you want to beat teams that are as good or better than you, you've got to start doing that on offense and pressure off the defense. So, let's start hitting, let's start making those catches. Let's break the run. I mean, I think we did a good job. We didn't have any offensive penalties, which was amazing. And then, I think we should get into a little bit of the Ty Story discussion. I mean, he's been a great game manager. The stats don't really stand out to you, but, I mean, he's exactly what this team needs right now. And it's going to – I want to see him – he's gone from, okay, you've been a great manager. Now let's see you add just one – let's go from a a 75 to an 80. Let's start carrying the team on offense a little bit more, which I know if you don't have the playmakers, it's a little bit hard, but I would like to see him just keep gaining that confidence as the season goes on.
Yeah, Lord 10 says neither of the P5 linebackers played, the transfer P5 linebackers.
Staples or what's his name?
I can't think of it either, but it sounds bad, but with D'Angelo Malone and Devin Key over the top, do we really need them? I mean, between the two of them, they're there. Like, you look up Malone, and then there's hello, Haydar. Thanks for joining the live stream. You've missed all the chaos. It was great, but now we're
yeah, good for you.
You're talking about Ty Story being a game manager, and I just don't see that. I like Ty Story play. Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's such a cool take. He's such a game manager. Like,
yeah.
2 rushing touchdowns, 140 yards passing. Like, he is literally a don't screw up quarterback, and it's totally fine. It's what we need, but I don't understand how you can say he's not a game manager.
Hey Hannah, thanks for joining. My thing is every time I watch Stephen Duncan, he just every play it seemed like it was like don't screw up. I don't know. That's the sense I got watching Stephen Duncan.
He wasn't being a game manager.
Yeah, but he threw a lot of mistakes, and for the record, he's 1 for 2, and Ty Story's 3-0. Just saying.
Tebow took the Broncos to a playoff win. I mean, quarterback play isn't everything. When you're a game manager, you win games. You wait on a good defense. That's exactly what Story's doing. We don't need him, but that's being a game manager.
Well, and Ty Story had 2 touchdowns Saturday too. So
and his legs
2 rushing touchdowns off the back of it. Yeah.
Hey, he may have vultured him, but he still got him. He was in there. And I got to say, that is probably like my least favorite play. How would you like to be the fullback there that has to ram your head into Ty Story's butt to get him in the end zone every time? How do you like that?
I would do it with Cade Walker, who gained it to the 1 yard line, and they're like, no, we're just going to get the Story.
That does kind of suck.
Yeah, so Haydar and Hannah have left, so see y'all guys. You're more than welcome back, so you can come back anytime you want. Yeah, I know, it's so distracting. Somebody with ADD like me, this is the worst, but it's great.
Let's say we got to put a thing over the whatever part of the screen pops up. It's like, okay, no for Devin. No, he's too distracted.
Yes, I get distracted very easily. And play music whenever other people are talking and all that good stuff. So, honestly, looking forward to Charlotte. This game scares me. Mm-hmm. I don't know about
why does this game scare you?
Why does this game scare me? Okay, so the numbers are a little inflated when you look at Charlotte. Granted, they played, let's see, I'm pulling up their schedule real quick. Gardner-Webb, they won 49-28. That's one of those games that we should have won, being Central Arkansas. They lost to App State. They beat
App State.
Yeah, they beat UMass.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But
just about everybody can beat
the worst
UMass.
teams in FBS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which, by the way, I didn't know UMass had a football team that played the FBS. I'm going to be honest
with you. That's all you need to know.
They moved up like 5 or 6 years ago. We're in the MAC, and then they went to independent. It's been a complete disaster.
So
makes sense.
So even though Gardner-Webb, they scored 49, App State, they scored 41, and against UMass, they put up 52. So those numbers are going to skew the numbers when you look at when we start talking about how many points per game Charlotte has. They've got 33. Right. So just hold on a second,
You'll get common opponents. FIU is the only common opponent we have thus far. They scored 23 on FIU. We scored 20 on FIU.
Yeah. I mean, and that's and FIU beat them 48-23. So that's another thing to watch. But points allowed, this is where Western's kind of crazy. And you can see this, especially in teams with losing records. Charlotte has 41, Western 18.5 points allowed per game. Of course, Charlotte did play number 1 Clemson, and they lost 52-10. So, okay.
At least they had 10 points. That's impressive.
That was probably in the fourth quarter. This is one of those I'm not clicking on.
There, like all the back stuff.
Yeah. I'm not clicking on that because that's like clickbait that you see on Facebook and certain groups. But anyway, Total yards. Charlotte's got 408.2, and like I said, that's probably inflated from like the UMass game and some of those where they just dominated. Western, 337. So we've got 189 passing for Charlotte and 218 rushing. In our group chat, Jake pointed out a really hilarious stat that Charlotte has 8 quarterbacks.
Which is ridiculous.
listed on their roster. They have, and like 3 or 4 of them are freshmen, but it's just funny that I was scrolling, I was like, okay, who does stuff for Charlotte? Newsflash, it's literally 1 running back and a bunch of dudes. Yeah, it's LeMay, and he's their leading rusher. Oh yeah, he's also their leading receiver. So if he throws a couple of passes, he'll just be doing everything. They may play him on defense. Who knows?
No, all they need is 3 more quarterbacks, and they can have an entire offense of quarterbacks.
Just quarterbacks. Quarterback sneak every down.
So who? Oh, Cameron Dollar. By the way, greatest last name ever.
Dollar bills, y'all?
Yeah, because he could just be. He goes to the league, and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Dollar?" And he's like, "I don't know. You need to pay me more. Give me some more." Points to the jersey. Dollar.
Wow.
Do you have a really...
Thank you.
Okay, I was about to say, please tell me that setup was for a terrible joke, like with the sound effects. I was like, if not.
Yes. So Charlotte's allowed 412 yards. Granted, they played Clemson, and Western has allowed 287. So, I mean, last year, granted, we were god-awful, but, you know, I still see those awful interceptions for Shanley. They just keep entering my mind. It's like PTSD, you know, like that dog they show on Facebook when you hear the dog squeaker toy breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I have one more stat. Their head coach is 34. Will Healy, 34 years old, and Tyson Helton's 42. So there you go.
That is
the baby ball.
Which was probably the worst program in Division One in FCS. Real high energy guy. They say he's kind of like a Dabo clone, and you know, they're having growing pains because of that. So, no, I think just looking at Charlotte this game, it's strength versus weakness and weakness versus strength. Like, they're a high-powered offense that's kind of petered out a little bit, but, you know, we've got our surefire defense, and then we've got a bad offense, and they've got a even worse defense. So, you know, I think I said it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, if the offense doesn't break through and score at least 30 points this game, I don't think we're ever going to win.
I agree. I would love to see us do it, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
I would love to see you cut that music off.
Yeah, for the love of God.
Okay, I'll cut it off. I just did it for Ross. Apparently I commented on my post. No, I didn't. Sorry, I was planning ahead here, trying to get something for the mailbag. Jared, what do you think as far as the Charlotte game is concerned? How do you think we're going to do? What's your outlook for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like what Ross said. It's just, I think our defense is going to be solid. We're going to have to contain their offense, which I think that we're probably capable about that. I mean, if we can shut down LeMay, then we have a very good chance of winning this game. But the defense is important, but the offense is what really needs to show up, because apparently their defense is not very good, at least according to all of the stats you were just saying, all the scores they've had with these games so far. Like, we should be able to pick apart whatever weaknesses they have in their defense. We need to still have success running the ball with Gage Walker. I hope he gets another 100-yard game. And I just kind of want to see Ty Story throw it a lot more. I mean, he's good, like, escaping the pocket and having to run if he has to try to extend a play. But at the same time, I want to see him maybe gun it a little deeper down the field. I mean, we got some quick guys that can go down there and catch him, somebody like Sloan. So it's interesting to see. I just want to see our offense take advantage of their defense.
I will say, we'll pull up my Army game stats real quick. I will say that Story was 21 of 30.
Yeah, I mean, he's accurate. He just doesn't throw it as far.
Well, he did try to. He does try to. Like that first throw with Pearson, he overthrew him. And then, of course, the second one, man, he hit him right in the hands. I think it was Pearson, wasn't it? Wasn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought that was right. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up my box scores. Yeah, he's 21 of 30, 4.7. It doesn't show the long.
Just game managing down
22. Longest was 22 with Lucky Jackson. So Jake's favorite had the longest on that one.
That's right.
So, Jake, do you want to talk about Lucky Jackson, and I'll play some love music?
Maybe not.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just
Now, y'all act like I hate Lucky Jackson. I don't hate Lucky Jackson. I have said that over and over. Like you're just not the guy. It's fine. You don't have to be the guy.
He's not
he gets
on Taylor or the.
It's fine. He's not the guy, and that's one thing that like when you start breaking it down. I was reading The Athletic did a really good G5 drive where they're kind of breaking down like mid-season where all the group of 5 teams were, and one of the things they talked about was how Helton had said that he was really confident coming in with his guys in the trenches, but that he didn't have those big offensive playmakers that you really need to take that next step. And it's so funny to listen to these broadcasters that have no idea what's going on because they call a whole bunch of games, and dude, turn the music on for a guy.
I'm going to delete
Toss my phone.
this just so we don't have to enter the soundboard.
Yeah, for sure. And they don't have the big threat, and everybody who like comes in is like, "Oh yeah, Lucky Jackson, he's one of the best receivers in the thing, and he's super deep threat and all that stuff." And it's like, gosh, you haven't watched you obviously have not watched anyone play. Like, it's
No,
fine.
they haven't.
The guy. I don't hate him. It's fine. I do not hate the guy. He's like, and he makes he makes good hustle plays and everything. Like, he's not the guy, and it's fine. But on Charlotte this weekend, maybe this is again me, the blood loss talking, but I'm pretty confident in that it's going to be another sluggy. They score 10 points, we score 24 kind of games. Like I said, look, the way that they score points is they bust open the run game and have little short passes to their running backs, and we've been able to dominate the line of scrimmage. We've been able to really break down that kind of smash and like little smash run, little side screen passes. So I'm not super worried about this game. Even though we did lose them last year, look, it's all down to defense play good and story don't screw up. Like, you do that, and we're happy campers.
I just want to say, I have started, like all fans do, wearing a Lucky T-shirt. It's a Batman T-shirt. I'm not going to lie, full disclosure. It's the Michael Keaton Batman, 1989.
The darkest of nights.
Yes, that's what I wear on the couch when I watch the game.
This is the kind of game where if you really are content, if we're really in a Conference USA East Division contender, a conference title contender, you take care of this team, you bury them.
Yep.
You win by 17 or more points. You don't give them a shot, and you're playing your backups in the fourth quarter. This is the kind of game because after that you got Marshall, FAU, and Arkansas, and you've got some challenges after that. So this is the game you go, you take care of your business, and then you got the Moonshine Throwdown the week after where you can go and really just make a statement. So take care of business at home on homecoming with a good crowd.
Yes, and that's Ross's biggest rival is with the Moonshine Throwdown, Marshall. So
take care.
They don't have anybody else to care about, so it's fine. Lord 10 says, after the Army game, I'm not worried about defending the run. I'm worried about a team who has a good quarterback, worried about our secondary.
I just say I don't think Charlotte has a good quarterback. I'll be honest with you. He runs.
Well, if the first one's not good, they do have 7 more, so it's fine.
That's true.
That's played that Chris Reynolds kid all season, and he's got 11 to 5 touchdown interception ratio, but he can't. He's kind of like Ty Story. He can't really throw downfield that much. So like he's going to get 180, 200 yards, and you're not going to have to worry about him just pulling a Mike Cunningham or that kid on UCA and just burning his feet all game.
The only team that looks like that he threw a lot against was App State, and he threw 296 yards.
That was a shootout. Look at that score.
And the lowest he had was against Clemson. Obviously, he threw 43. But if you look at FIU, he was 114, and LeMay was 144. And LeMay was his highest receiver at 90 yards.
Yeah. So they literally throw it. They hand it off to him. They throw it to him. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, they were like, oh, it's just Lamar Jackson and a bunch of dudes. and everybody got mad, and then it turns out it was him and a bunch of dudes. It's LeMay and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, okay, so full disclosure again, guys. I like to keep it full disclosure with you guys. So I am 0-2 when I do the recap, and I'm always hesitant because of this. So I am writing the recap this weekend. So
Oh no!
yes, so that's where my hesitation comes from. That's what it is.
Dang it, Devin, you're gonna ruin it.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Just a second.
It would be wild if that's what happened and you went 0 for 3. It's like you're never touching a
If I
recap
did,
again.
If I do, I'm just gonna say, Ross, if you ask me to do it again, I'm gonna be like, no, for the love of God, no.
Just
I'm
like,
sorry.
0-3. Just hold up 3.
Got broken in person.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Although they
Okay.
still lost to Central Arkansas when I was there, so I mean.
Okay,
I
so
was there too.
okay, so Ross, Jake, and Jared, you've got your opinions in on the Charlotte game. Do you support? I think I said this last time, so I'll go with this again. Do you think the 78.2% matchup predictor that ESPN's put on here, is it about right? Is there a 21% chance that Charlotte beats Western?
I would definitely give it a bigger percentage of that.
I was going to say, is it an 8 out of 10? I mean, really, if we played them 10 times, they're going to beat us too.
I think that's about right.
You think it's about right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's pretty close, and I'm usually not one for like the.
Day or something. Yeah.
Hello, logical, fun, smart, sensational.
That's
welcome
an
to
excellent screen name, whoever that is.
Yes.
Slow
Oh.
clap. That's good.
They would like to call in. Okay. I will, full disclosure, we are about to start the mailbag, so I'm going to let you ask your question, comment, or whatever, and then we'll have to appreciate the call, okay? Hello, logical, fun, smart, sensational.
Great name.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering how I could start my own podcast in a significant way.
Okay. I will, the best way to start a podcast, you can do it on podbean.com. That's where we do our podcast. And there are, what was the other one, Jake? Podomatic, wasn't that it?
There's like 30 different ones.
Yeah, there's several different websites. You can go on Google and start your own podcast, and that's how you do it, bud. Thanks for calling in.
Sweet.
Some other mailbag questions. Lord 10, if you want to call in, go for it, buddy. I'll answer it here in just a
That was
second.
cool that actually worked, though.
I know, right? It wasn't.
I don't know what was messed up with you, Ross, but something is dreadfully wrong on your end. Hopefully you can get that fixed.
I'm sorry. That conversation, I mean, the next thing is going to be like, hey, you need to go to the doctor and get that checked out.
You need to talk to somebody, man.
So Brian asks, or he says, I would really like to see us move the ball down the field more in the passing game, open up big plays, and open up the running game as well. I agree. I would like to see Ty Story pass Stephen Duncan on the season leaders part of the ESPN page, just since Stephen Duncan's hurt for the season.
Yeah, go ESPN. You know what you're talking about, right, guys?
Well, he's probably leading the team right now as far as that's concerned. But
No, I know it's just an aggregate thing, but it's just funny.
you don't think so? Okay.
Well, no, I think it is, but
Well, I mean,
but
Gage has got 558 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean,
It's just the season leaders.
yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
basically,
it just
you said in the thing, Duncan was a better passer when it came to getting more chunk plays, but you look at completion percentage, Ty Story boat raced him. So
yeah, I mean,
That's true.
I think that it's a possibility going down the stretch. They'll maybe Brian Ellis, when he's not screaming at referees, he will start drawing up plays that'll be more specifically suited toward Ty Story. I almost said Stephen Duncan. Ty Story, and I mean, my thing was Ty Story. I like a quarterback that just lowers his shoulder and goes to town. Who's not afraid to get that extra yard and just plow ahead. So that just
plow right in there, baby.
he does. I mean, he's done a few give up slides, and that's fine because he usually has the yardage. But I'm tickled with that.
he's tough. I'll
David-
give him that.
Yeah, he knock on wood. I know offensive coordinators hate seeing their quarterbacks take off and do that stuff a lot. But
And they told him to quit.
Yeah, but I mean, he's only got 1 year here. I mean, do your thing, bud. Just keep going.
Just win, baby.
Daniel Crenshaw says, "Do you think we are in a good position to run the table in the East and possibly the conference?"
No.
Yeah, no. I think that's cart before the horse kind of thing.
I think we're getting excited. After last year, there is nothing wrong with being excited about it.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah, because if you look at sorry, I'm trying to go between screens here. Western's 4-2 right now. That was more games than we won last year.
And
it's
that's more
October.
than some of us predicted too.
Yeah, you're right.
Dude, yeah, we're at my total right now.
Yes.
I thought we'd win 4. So
Dude,
I'm tickled to death.
That's going to be like the worst meltdown in history if we lose the rest of them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Honestly, my prediction, revised prediction, I could see 6-6, and I'm going to say we don't make a bowl because we don't get invited. But I think it's a possibility.
You sound like Jake.
We're related, dude. Of course, I sound like Jake.
It's true. Yeah. You can't help it.
So we're 4-2. I think 7-5 is now the floor with as elite as our defense is played and the rest of this game. Charlotte should be a win. MTSU should be a win. And then you've got toss-ups the other 4 games. So say you win at least one of those. That's your 3 right there. So, I mean, where's the guaranteed loss? None.
See, I'm close to Ross on the floor. I think at this point, you do that halfway through the season, reevaluation, you get new data. I think the floor is 6-6 with a decent shot because we have. I mean, we here's the deal, guys. I mean, you look across the conference, you look at these scores, you look every week, something weird's happening. I mean, Charlotte's, FIU's beating people, but then getting smashed other places. FAU's doing what FAU's going to do. But, Southern Miss looks awesome. North Texas, not so much. So when you start looking at these teams, like week in and week out, it's kind of a toss-up a lot of times, like Ross said. So you figure you pick one of them off. But
Hey, Jake, hold on a second. Hey, Haydar, you're blocked. Sorry, go ahead.
What did he say?
Stuff
You
I
never
can't
know
say
what
on the
you're
air.
going to get with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say on the air, so
That's fine. But yeah, no, I think 6-6 is the floor.
No,
and you
it
pick
wasn't.
one.
If it was, I would have just went with that. But no, that's just being idiot. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just saying 6-6 is the floor, and then after that, everything's butter.
I was gonna say, are you turning into a mat on me? Or are you gonna go say 8-4?
I'd probably crap my pants if we go 8-4.
Okay, Charlotte is a definite possibility. Marshall, I'm kind of 50-50 on them.
Same here.
Atlantic, I think it's probably like 75% their way.
No, I totally disagree with that.
Of course, it is November, so it's going to be cold for them.
Yeah, the last time we said that, though, they absolutely smashed us to pieces. So
True.
We beat down our leg in the fourth quarter. It didn't, it was a close game. We should have won.
Yeah, agree with you, Lord 10. If like I said, buddy, if you want to call in, you go right ahead. You've been on the show the entire episode. He said, let's win 7, and we don't have to worry about the UCA loss hurting our bowl chances.
absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
If we can get the 7, we'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Devin, how many more questions you got in that?
What'd you say, Jared?
How many more questions did you have in the mailbag?
Sorry, you do have to go. Okay. That's it. That's all our questions.
Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead. Let's do our creepiest mascots. Jared, you can go first, buddy.
All right, so I'll just do this really quick, but there's a lot of messed up mascots. I will say that. I've looked at a lot of different mascots that exist. But one, I'll just do 4. One that I think is personally creepy, but that a lot of people never really talk about is Penn State's Panther. I don't know if you've ever actually looked at it, but that looks like a kind of panther that you would find in Muhlenberg County that just drank water from outside of a meth head's house. I don't know what happened to it, but it looks really terrifying, and there are some deformities within it. But that one's bad. Of course, the Providence Friar is terrifying. I'll never understand that. Of course, St. Louis Billikens. That it looks like something you would see in a Dr. Seuss book. Like that's another one that's really interesting.
Okay.
And Man.
So I just Googled the Nittany Lion, and that literally looks like something you can buy off Amazon. So
Yeah. It looks like the horse that the Kentucky people had for Murray State.
yes.
Football. Like, that's still one of my favorite things that's ever happened, is that they were allowed to be on the field with some makeshift costume.
And
like
people
that.
were reporting it's like, oh god, look how terrible their mascot is, because they thought it was legitimately their mascot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
But yeah, I said 4, didn't I? I'm blanking on the other one that I had, but those are the main ones that are terrifying, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand why they exist, but for some inexplicable reason they do. Oh, of course, the King Cake Baby, New Orleans Pelicans. That is terrifying.
Yes,
Okay.
That is so dumb. So dumb. Which,
Okay.
I don't know why it exists, but with that, I will leave you. Have fun. I will see you guys.
Hey, Jared, take care, bud. See ya.
See ya.
All right. See, so once we're getting this on the roll, this is going pretty good. Jake, do you want to do yours real quick?
Well, so I don't have a specific list. I just, like, there's a type of mascot that freaks me out. And I guess it's, like, leftover trauma from being, like, when I was little. But anything with the giant, like, humanoid head. Like, right now I'm thinking of the Michigan State Spartan.
Sparty,
Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's just, like, to me, they just, or, like, the 49er that we're going to this weekend, like, just a big-headed, like, humanoid, like they have the mascot head and then person body. It freaks me. It's weird. I do not get it. It freaks me out. It's just like, nah, I ain't about it. Just,
Norm the Niner. I got to try and find a picture of this guy because it does look. Oh yeah, he looks
Yeah.
creepy. I'll give you that.
They just might as well like have a dude, like an actual, and they used to have just like a guy, like it's this dude dressed up as a gold miner or silver, whatever they found in Charlotte, random. To go back and look at.
So obviously our genetics share because I'm thinking the same thing. So Ross, why don't you go ahead and do yours, and then I'll do my top 5 creepiest last.
So I've got a couple. I mean, kind of in the same vein as Jake. Herbie Husker's kind of just a weird one if you look at Nebraska.
Yeah, weird.
That one's always
gosh.
weird. The Demon Deacon.
Yep, that's on my list.
I watched the Louisville game while I was watching the Western game, and I was like, wow, that's a weird. Just how you came up with the name Demon Deacon, just in general, and then just what the guy looks like is pretty bad. And then my creepiest has got to be Pistol Pete from Oklahoma State.
That's mine. That's another one of mine too. Yeah, I agree. I do have one other.
He does the guns up, and then, yeah.
He looks like Burt Reynolds. God
He
rest his soul. He does. He looks like a really creepy Burt Reynolds.
Creepy Burt Reynolds. I like that.
No, yeah, definitely not as sexy.
Definitely.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I googled 13 scariest mascots in college football.
That's a good place to start.
The funniest thing for me is the Louisville Cardinal. Louis the Cardinal is number 13
Because of the teeth.
because of the teeth. Of course,
Yeah, the teeth can be
Bulldog.
freaky.
I've got a rant about that real quick. So they used to have like a lovable cardinal bird mascot probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and then they went with that creepy thing, and it's just awful.
It is like the teeth is what bothers me the most. It's
Well,
like
they always
what?
had the teeth, but they made it like demon looking.
Yeah, it just looks angry.
Yeah.
Okay, so off of this list, I took my top 5. I did add Louis the Cardinal because of the teeth. Number 4 is Willie the Wildcat from Kansas State because it looks like it to me. It looks like somebody took like one of those piano strings and just stuck in his mouth because his mouth's so screwed up. Number 3 is the Demon Deacon from Wake Forest. It just looks creepy. Number 2 for me is Pistol Pete, Oklahoma State. And the next one, first off, my honorable mention is Stanford Tree from Stanford.
Yeah.
I think it's so weird. And
That's
then,
just weird.
And then number 1 for me is the Dead Eyes of Purdue Pete from Purdue. If you Google his picture, I swear you just like fall into his void of a soul.
Yeah, it is. It's wild.
So, fun fact about this list: number 2 is Big Red. And I love it. I was like, yes, I am keeping this. And number 1,
be afraid. Be very afraid.
Big. Okay, so let me read what the person wrote. Number 2 is Big Red, Western Kentucky. Pardon my language, but what the F is this? Seriously, the red blob bears no resemblance to anything real, and who knows, could it actually be friendly? But right now, it looks like Big Red goes around town and swallows people whole. It does, just so you know.
It does. Yeah, Big Red does.
The actual number 1, anyone want to take a guess?
No, I got nothing. The banana
Scariest,
slug.
okay?
I would have said like the tree.
No, it is actually Mike, the tiger from LSU.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he's an actual tiger.
That's fair.
I thought that was good.
He can actually kill you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, our listeners, for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun. We will have our podcast up tomorrow. For those of you who did not join us live, it's fine. You can join us next week. We'll do this again at 7:30. I don't have anything else. Check the game. It will be on it's ESPN Plus, I'm right, isn't it? ESPN Plus, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. And check out the Towel Rack and check out RedOUT. We try to do all the good stuff, send out all the good stuff. Anything the Towel Rack does, we'll try and send out as well. So check back. We'll holler at us, send us mail, do all that good stuff.
Yes, please send us snail mail. Please send us nice letters and postcards. That would be amazing.
Yes. Don't be ugly. Hey, guys. Appreciate you listening to the episode. Like, share, and subscribe. And go Tops.